Liam Hayes was floating in the tranquil expanse of space, surrounded by the hum of the space station's machinery. As an engineer on the orbital platform Argonaut 7, he was accustomed to routine checks and maintenance tasks. But today, an anomaly had caught his attention, a distress signal, faint but persistent, emanating from the depths of space. Liam leaned over the console, his fingers dancing over the touch-sensitive controls. "Jane, are you seeing this?" He called out to his colleague, Dr. Jane Marcus, who was busy analyzing data across the room. Jane walked over, her brows furrowing as she peered at the screen. "That's odd. The signal's frequency doesn't match any known human transmission. Could be extraterrestrial." Liam's heart raced. First contact with extraterrestrial life had been established a few years ago, but encounters were still rare. "Let's patch it through," he suggested, adjusting the audio feed. A crackling sound filled the room, followed by a desperate voice, speaking in a language the translation matrix struggled to interpret. Amidst the garbled words, a clear plea emerged. "Help. Attack. Need assistance. Coordinates enclosed." The message was from a Valoran spaceship. Valorans were known for their advanced technology and peaceful nature. What could have gone so wrong? Jane looked at Liam, concern etched on her face. "This could be a trap, Liam. We have strict orders to avoid unauthorized contact." Liam clenched his jaw. "We can't just ignore a distress call, especially not from allies. They're under attack, and we might be their only hope." Jane hesitated, then nodded. "All right, but be careful. I'll cover for you here. You'll need to act fast." Within minutes, Liam had suited up and boarded a small, sleek spacecraft equipped for emergency missions. As he navigated the vessel away from Argonaut 7, he sent a quick message to the space station commander, explaining his actions and the urgency of the situation. There was no time to wait for a response. The journey to the given coordinates was tense. The vast emptiness of space seemed even more oppressive as Liam sped towards the source of the distress signal. His thoughts were a whirlwind of what-ifs and potential dangers. Was he making the right choice? As he approached the Valoran ship, the scene before him made his blood run cold. The elegant, silver-hulled ship was under heavy fire from a squadron of human military drones. Liam's training kicked in. He activated the ship's stealth mode, slipping past the drones undetected. "Valoran vessel, this is Liam Hayes from the Argonaut 7 space station. I'm here to help," he transmitted, hoping his message would get through. A response crackled through the static. "Liam Hayes, we are under attack. We need immediate assistance. I'm Zara Valora. Can you dock with our ship?" Liam maneuvered his spacecraft to the Valoran ship's docking port. As the airlock hissed open, he was met by Zara, an alien with luminescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold galaxies within them. She looked both regal and terrified. "Thank you, Liam. We were on a peaceful mission when we were ambushed. My sister, Kara, is injured. Please, help us," Zara pleaded, her voice trembling yet resolute. Liam nodded, quickly assessing the situation. "Let's get you both to safety first. My ship has medical supplies and a secure cabin." Zara led him to Kara, who lay unconscious with a deep gash on her forehead. Liam carefully lifted her and guided Zara back to his spacecraft. As they secured the airlock, the reality of their perilous situation set in. The drones outside were still searching for them, their red sensors sweeping methodically through space. Liam activated the cloaking shield, making the ship nearly invisible. "We need to get out of here before they detect us," he said, steering the craft away from the Valoran ship. Zara sat beside him, her eyes wide with fear and gratitude. "You've risked so much to save us. Why?" Liam glanced at her, a determined look in his eyes. "Because it's the right thing to do. No one deserves to be left behind." As they sped away, the ship's sensors picked up an incoming transmission from Captain Thorne, a ruthless officer known for his stringent adherence to protocol and a hidden agenda. "Unknown vessel, you are harboring fugitives. Surrender immediately or be destroyed." Liam's heart pounded. He knew surrendering wasn't an option. "Hang on," he told Zara. "This is going to be rough." He engaged the ship's thrusters to maximum, darting through the asteroid field that lay ahead, hoping to lose their pursuers in the chaotic terrain. The spacecraft shook violently as debris collided with the hull, but Liam's expert navigation kept them one step ahead. Just as it seemed they might escape, a sudden jolt rocked the ship. One of the drones had latched onto their hull. Alarms blared, and the control panel flashed with warnings. Liam's mind raced as he formulated a plan. "Zara, take the controls," he instructed. "I'm going to deal with that drone." He rushed to the airlock, grabbing a plasma cutter. With the precision of a seasoned engineer, Liam worked quickly, detaching the drone from the ship. Sparks flew as he severed its connections, and finally, it drifted away, disabled. Returning to the cockpit, Liam saw a relieved expression. "We did it," she whispered, eyes shining. "Not yet," Liam replied. "We still have to outrun them." Liam Hayes navigated his small spacecraft through the asteroid field, his mind focused on the immediate task of evading the pursuing drones. Beside him, Zara monitored the sensors, her anxiety palpable. Despite the urgency, Liam couldn't help but admire her composure under pressure. "How's Kara?" Liam asked, keeping his eyes on the controls. Zara glanced back at her sister, who lay unconscious in the medical bay. "She's stable for now, but we need to get her to proper medical facilities soon." "Thank you for doing this, Liam." Liam nodded, his resolve strengthening. "We're in this together. I won't let anything happen to you or Kara." The ship's proximity alarm blared, jolting them both. "Incoming!" Zara shouted. A squadron of military drones had located them, their aggressive formation signaling imminent attack. Liam activated the ship's defensive systems, expertly maneuvering through the asteroid field to use the debris as cover. "Hold on tight," he instructed, pushing the thrusters to maximum. The spacecraft weaved and dodged, but the drones were relentless. "We can't keep this up forever," Zara said, fear creeping into her voice. "Trust me," Liam replied, his voice steady. "I've got a plan." He guided the ship toward a particularly dense cluster of asteroids. Using his knowledge of the terrain, he initiated a series of complex maneuvers, forcing the drones into a tighter formation. Just as they approached the cluster's heart, Liam executed a sharp turn, releasing a cluster of EMP mines. The mines detonated, sending out a pulse that disabled the drone's systems. They floated aimlessly, their red sensors flickering out. Zara exhaled in relief. "That was incredible, Liam." Liam gave a tight smile. "We're not out of the woods yet. Thorn won't give up that easily." With the immediate threat neutralized, Liam set a course for a remote asteroid base, one that wasn't on any official charts. This place used to be an old mining station. It's been abandoned for years, but it still has the facilities we need to treat Kara. As they approached the base, the eerie silence of space was replaced by the creaking sounds of the old station. They docked, and Liam helped Zara carry her sister to the medical bay. The base's systems hummed to life as Liam activated the med units. "Will this work?" Zara asked, her voice wavering. "It should," Liam reassured her, adjusting the settings. The unit began scanning Kara, diagnosing her injuries and administering treatment. "She needs rest and time to heal, but this should stabilize her." Zara's shoulders slumped in relief. "I don't know how to thank you, Liam. Just focus on getting better." "We still have a lot to figure out," Liam said, his mind already racing with the next steps. As Kara rested, Liam and Zara returned to the control room. "We need to understand why Thorn is so determined to capture you," Liam said. "There must be more of this than we know." Zara's eyes darkened. "Our mission was peaceful, but we discovered something. Thorn is after a powerful energy source on Valora, one that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. He wants to exploit it." Liam's jaw tightened. "That's why he's willing to attack his own allies. We need to stop him." They spent the next few hours analyzing data and planning their next move. Zara's knowledge of Valoran technology and Liam's tactical skills complemented each other perfectly. The more they worked together, the more their bond deepened. "We have to get this information to the Earth Alliance," Zara said. "They need to know what Thorn is up to." Liam agreed. "But first, we need to ensure our safety. Thorn will come after us with everything he's got." Just as they finalized their plan, the base's alarms blared. Intruders detected, the automated system announced. Liam's heart pounded. He found us. Zara, stay with Kara. I'll handle this. Zara grabbed his arm, her eyes fierce. We do this together. Liam nodded, appreciating her determination. They armed themselves and moved through the dimly lit corridors, the old station creaking with each step. The sounds of intruders echoed, their voices growing louder. Stay low, Liam whispered as they approached a junction. He peeked around the corner and saw a squad of heavily armed soldiers, their movements precise and deadly. We need to create a diversion, Zara said, her mind racing. I can overload the base's power core. It will give us a chance to escape. It's risky, Liam replied, but it might be our only shot. Zara nodded. I'll head to the power core. You draw their attention. Liam agreed, setting his blaster to stun. He moved silently, drawing the soldiers' attention with calculated shots that ricocheted through the corridors. The soldiers pursued, their focus shifting away from Zara. As Liam engaged the soldiers, Zara reached the power core. She quickly worked the controls, her fingers moving with practiced precision. Come on, she muttered. The station shuddered as the power core began to overload. Liam, it's now or never. Zara shouted over the comms. Liam sprinted back towards the medical bay, the soldiers hot on his heels. He and Zara regrouped, grabbing Kara and rushing to the ship. As they undocked, the station's power core exploded, sending shockwaves through space and disabling the pursuing soldiers' ship. Breathing heavily, Liam piloted them to safety. Zara looked at him, her eyes filled with gratitude and something deeper. We did it. For now, Liam replied, his gaze meeting hers. But this is just the beginning. Liam's spacecraft streaked through the vastness of space, the remnants of the asteroid station fading behind them. Zara sat beside him, her eyes constantly flickering to the monitors tracking Kara's vitals. Though stabilized, her sister's condition weighed heavily on her mind. We need to find a safe haven, Liam said, his fingers deftly navigating the controls. Somewhere we can regroup and figure out our next move. Zara nodded, her expression resolute. There's an old Valorant outpost on the edge of the Andromeda sector. It's hidden and should be safe. Liam set a course for the outpost, the ship's engines humming steadily. As they traveled, he couldn't help but admire Zara's strength. Despite everything, she remained focused and determined. Hours passed in a tense silence, punctuated only by the rhythmic beeping of the ship's instruments. Finally, the outpost came into view, a small, unassuming structure camouflaged against the backdrop of a barren moon. Liam guided the ship into the docking bay, and they hurriedly transferred Kara to the outpost's medical unit. As the automated systems began their work, Zara turned to Liam, her eyes filled with gratitude. Thank you, Liam. You've saved us more than once now. He gave her a reassuring smile. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're getting there. Let's focus on getting a message to the Earth Alliance. They made their way to the communications room, a dusty but functional space filled with outdated equipment. Zara activated the main console, and Liam began transmitting a coded message detailing Thorne's plans and their current predicament. We need to encrypt this, Liam said, his fingers flying over the keys. We can't risk Thorne intercepting it. As they worked, the outpost's alarm system suddenly blared to life. Intruders detected, the automated voice announced. Liam's heart sank. How did they find us so quickly? Zara's eyes widened in fear. It must be Thorne. He must have a tracker on us somehow. They barely had time to react before the doors were blasted open. A squad of heavily armed soldiers stormed in, their weapons trained on Liam and Zara. Captain Thorne stepped forward, a cruel smile on his face. You didn't think you could hide from me, did you? Thorne sneered. You've made this far too easy. Liam stepped protectively in front of Zara. You won't get away with this, Thorne. The Earth Alliance will know the truth. Thorne laughed. By the time they figure it out, it'll be too late. I'll have what I need from Valora, and you'll be nothing but a memory. The soldiers seized Liam and Zara, binding their hands and marching them through the outpost. As they passed the medical unit, Zara glanced at Kara, her eyes filled with desperation. Liam caught her gaze and nodded subtly, hoping to convey his determination to find a way out. Thorne's men led them to a reinforced cell, shoving them inside and locking the heavy door. The dim light and cold metal walls only added to the feeling of hopelessness. Zara sank to the floor, her voice trembling. "What are we going to do, Liam? Kara needs us." Liam knelt beside her, his mind racing. "We'll find a way. We've come this far, and we're not giving up now." Hours passed in the oppressive silence of their cell. Liam and Zara sat close, drawing strength from each other. Just as despair threatened to overwhelm them, a soft beep broke the silence. Liam's eyes widened as he realized it was coming from the small device he had managed to keep hidden. He quickly activated it, revealing a tiny holographic map of the outpost. "It's an old maintenance device. It shows us a way out," he whispered. Zara's eyes lit up with hope. "Can it disable the cell's lock?" Liam nodded. "If I can access the control panel, yes." Working quickly, Liam pried open the cell's control panel and connected the device. Sparks flew as he bypassed the security protocols. Moments later, the door hissed open. "Let's move," Liam urged, helping Zara to her feet. They moved stealthily through the corridors, avoiding patrols and sticking to the shadows. As they neared the medical unit, Liam's heart pounded with anticipation. They needed to get Kara and escape before Thorne realized they were gone. Suddenly, they heard footsteps approaching. Liam pulled Zara into a dark alcove, holding his breath as the soldiers passed by. The tension was palpable, but they remained undetected. Finally, they reached the medical unit. Kara lay motionless, the machines keeping her stable. Zara rushed to her side, disconnecting the necessary equipment. Liam kept watch, his nerves on edge. "Hurry, Zara," he urged. Just as they were about to leave, the door to the medical unit burst open. Thorne stood there, his eyes blazing with fury. "You're not going anywhere." Liam stepped forward, his fists clenched. "We're leaving, Thorne. Try and stop us." Thorne lunged at Liam, but Zara intervened, using a stun device to incapacitate him. Thorne crumpled to the floor unconscious. "Let's go," Zara exclaimed, and they hurried out of the medical unit, carrying Kara between them. They made their way back to the ship, the alarms blaring in the background. As they secured Kara and prepared for takeoff, Liam glanced at Zara, his determination mirrored in her eyes. "We're not giving up," he said firmly. "No, we're not," Zara agreed. "We'll fight to the end." The ship's engines roared as they sped through the dark void of space, heading towards Earth. Liam, Zara, and Kara, now conscious but still weak, were united in their resolve. They needed to expose Captain Thorne's plans and ensure Valora's safety. "We're approaching the Earth Alliance's headquarters," Liam said, his eyes focused on the control panel. "We need to convince them of Thorne's betrayal." Zara nodded, her face set with determination. "We'll present the data we gathered. It's undeniable proof of Thorne's intentions." Kara, pale but alert, added, "And we'll need to be prepared for anything. Thorne won't let us do this easily." As they docked at the Alliance's secure spaceport, Liam's heart raced. They were about to walk into the lion's den. The trio disembarked, carrying their data drives, and were met by a contingent of Alliance security officers. "We need to speak with Admiral Green immediately," Liam stated firmly, showing his identification. The officers exchanged glances before nodding. "Follow us." They were escorted through the pristine corridors of the headquarters, the tension palpable. Finally, they arrived at a large conference room where Admiral Green and several high-ranking officials awaited them. "Mr. Hayes, Mrs. Zara, and Mrs. Kara," Admiral Green began, his voice measured. "We understand you have urgent information regarding Captain Thorne." Liam stepped forward, placing the data drives on the table. "Admiral, Thorne is planning to exploit Valora for its energy resources. These drives contain all the evidence you need." The room fell silent as the officials reviewed the data. The air was thick with anticipation. After several minutes, Admiral Green looked up, his expression grave. "This is indeed troubling," he said. "Thorne's actions are not sanctioned by the Alliance. We will take immediate steps to apprehend him and secure Valora." Relief washed over Liam, Zara, and Kara. But just as they began to feel a semblance of safety, the room's alarms blared. The lights dimmed, and an automated voice announced, "Security breach detected." Admiral Green's eyes widened. "It's Thorn. He's here." Before anyone could react, the doors burst open, and Thorn's soldiers flooded the room, weapons drawn. Thorn himself strode in, his eyes cold and calculating. "You really thought you could stop me?" Thorn sneered. "You're more Na'vi than I thought.